California Heartland is made possible by the James G. Boswell Foundation, committed to sharing the stories and successes of California growers. Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
Funding provided in part by the California Farm Bureau Federation, proud publishers of California Country magazine. More information is available at californiacountry.org. And by the Almond Board of California. California almonds, loved around the world, grown in California's heartland. And by Real California Milk. This seal ensures your favorite dairy brands are made exclusively with Real California Milk. More information at realcaliforniamilk.com.
Coming up on California Heartland.
I've never had a premonition that strong, or never had one like that since.
How one man's vision led the Benziger family to a life of red, white, and now green. The winemaking dynasty is going biodynamic to help the environment and your glass of wine. Plus,
it does seem strange that we started out knowing nothing and now we're farmers for the French Laundry.
What's it like to grow designer veggies for one of the world's most renowned restaurants? Learn how these farmers are growing five-star cuisine for the French Laundry. And
is there any trick to that?
Hold it.
Okay.
And they come right off.
It's crab season in Monterey Bay. Time to get cracking and hit the road for a seaside aquaculture adventure. It's all next on California Heartland. From your backyard to the back country, in a field or on your family table, it's all about what keeps California moving and growing. This is California Heartland.
It's dawn, and it's the last day of harvest at Benziger Family Winery. Mike Benziger is out here, as he usually is, connecting to the land he loves.
Coming over the little rise and seeing this incredible valley here. And I had this unbelievable premonition that this was going to be the place where our family would be happy. I've never had a premonition that strong, or never had one like that since.
Born and raised in New York, Mike had never been west of Pennsylvania, but he and his girlfriend wanted to ski and surf, and the Golden State was calling their name.
The day that we graduated from college, that day, I got my diploma at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 6 o'clock, we were driving west to California.
Skiing and surfing never happened, but fate did. Needing money, Mike got a job at a wine store, fell in love with the business, and he and now wife Mary discovered this property and wanted Mom, Dad, and Mike's 6 younger siblings to head out west.
When this idea came to move to California, of course, people thought it was a joke. In our family, people said, well, there's no way I'm moving to kooky California. But I'll tell you, once they came out here and they saw this piece of property and they felt the energy that was here, they couldn't get here fast enough.
That was 30 years ago. Still owned and operated by the family, Benziger has grown into an industry leader, growing grapes and now going green by farming holistically with something called biodynamics.
You could say that biodynamics is one of the most advanced forms of organic farming. So instead of using chemicals and fertilizers, we replace those with plants and animals.
So you brought your family out here from New York, and you're doing the traditional farming, winemaking, and then you throw in, we're going to go biodynamic.
I see where you're going. Yeah, my family's pretty conservative, okay? And so when some of us came up with this idea of going biodynamic, it didn't really cut the mustard, as you would say, okay? But, you know, we all realized that we needed to do something to revive this property because it was going down.
To keep that from happening, 14 family members trekked all the way to Europe, where biodynamic methods are more common. Austrian philosopher Rudolf Steiner developed the method in the 1920s. Here's how it works. Using no artificial pesticides or chemicals, it treats a farm as an independent, sustainable ecosystem that then protects property.
This is where we have planted plants that will attract beneficial insects, the good bugs that will then go out into the vineyard and predate on the pest insects that could be bring down the grapevines.
Animals graze for weed control, water is recycled on site, growing and harvesting is even sometimes done on the lunar calendar, and nature rules supreme. The earth, not the winemaker, puts a flavor stamp on the wine.
Having a rich soil is going to produce a better vine, and that vine is going to be more independent, and it's going to bring up better flavors for the grapes, and we're going to be able to make better wine.
Benziger was the first vineyard in Napa or Sonoma County to earn the strict certification for biodynamic practices. Winemaker Rodrigo Soto helped start the process.
Now, when you say we knew we were going to get a few raisins,
Yeah.
How did you know that? Because of the weather this season, or?
Yeah, well, and also we are pushing the limits in terms of ripeness. We want these grapes to be very ripe so that they taste delicious, so that the wine tastes delicious as well. And of course, going through the vineyard, and every individual plant is different. And some are better suited for the weather over here, some are not.
The ability to be able to come here and look at this piece of property and be able to taste it in the actual glass is an amazing attribute to the wine. I love to know the fact of where my food came from and where the beverages I'm drinking came from.
When we first started this, people thought we were crazy. But when they saw that the practices that we were doing made a lot of sense, and they were reviving the land, and our wines were getting better, then they became very interested in what we were doing.
And what they were doing was suddenly bringing life back to the land, bringing back butterflies and bees, and a buzz of a different kind.
I think that the biodynamic wines that I have tasted are very special. They're very different. It's not supermodel. They're never, but they are beautiful and they taste unique.
It's interesting to even think about the concept of wine going green. It's a natural agricultural product, and it's kind of amazing for me to think that we ever try to go against that. I mean, once you start working with plants, I think you start to look for solutions that come from the natural world.
A world that, for the New York Benziger family, means winemaking in the West and preserving the precious property that started it all.
I pinch myself every day that this is where I get to come and play, and this is where I come to get to work and spend time with my friends and family. We're pretty fortunate.
Hi, I'm Jack Franklin.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Franklin, and this is Honey Bear Ranch.
This is our California Heartland. We're in Apple Hill in Camino, California. We have 10 acres of apples and blackberries. Well, the ranch was built in 1978 with the 1,273 apple trees we currently have. We have since planted 200 blackberry bushes, thornless blackberry bushes, and 5 years ago we went organic.
We have a fudge kitchen, and we make our own fudge here. We do carameled apples. We do lots of preserves. We do apple pies, several different varieties of apple pies. There's just a piece about this place, and you know, getting your hands in the earth and becoming one with nature, growing things is important to me, and I really enjoy that. I like to work, and this place offers opportunities for a lot of hard work.
Thanks for watching our California Heartland.
Smoked beef brisket, hands down the most popular beef cut of them all. And California's grill guru, JR Rothenberger, is tops for the chops. His special recipe and rub are a tender and delicious masterpiece at JR's Texas Barbecue. Food and lifestyle expert Laura McIntosh is bringing it home.
We are going to start barbecuing. A couple of things before we start, though. You can notice I have, and probably hear, some gloves on. And JR, you have yours on as well. Cross-contamination is a no-no.
Cross-contamination is a no-no.
So we're starting off barbecuing nice and safe.
Exactly.
All right, now I heard about this rub. Let's hear.
When you're doing a brisket, you dry rub it, and whatever combination I have in there makes a hot dog taste great. You know, even though we're having these, but I mean, it's unbelievable.
Good. Now you just said we're going to dry rub, and we are, and we're going to dry rub with your special
with
dry
this right here. We're going to take this right here. We're going to just put this right here, and you just rub this whole thing right here.
Good.
Okay, now you want, would you like to turn that over for me?
And it's important to do both sides?
Very, very important. Now, you noticed before I did that, and I forgot to tell you that, did you see the fat on the other side?
I did.
That's the side you put up when you're barbecuing.
Okay, when you say put up, I'm putting that down on the fire.
No.
That?
Up, it's got to stay up. I'm going to turn this over again. This is the way you do it. See, but you notice there was no fat on this side.
No, there wasn't at all.
Okay, now you know, turn that back over.
Okay, all right. Oh, look at that.
And
oh, look at you.
This is the fat side
okay.
now. And that's the side you want to keep because the moisture stays like that. If you do the other side, the smoking process will suck the moisture right out.
Sure, and this is where the moisture is.
This keeps it in.
All right, so this is good.
Now we're going to go put that on.
Let's do it. You guys ready to follow me? We're going to go out on the grill.
This is our little mini Weber.
Yeah, this is our mini Weber. Yeah, I don't know where I'd put this in my backyard.
I know.
Okay, here we go.
And there we go.
All right. Right there?
All right over there.
Okay.
And you notice that we have brisket on here already.
Yes.
And you put beef over beef.
Right.
Pork over pork, chicken over chicken.
Okay, so now we're going to do the pork.
And I got to take the gloves off here.
And you're the pro. You have them layered.
And there you go like that. I got them layered. Well.
I'm going to put some more on. That's good.
And now this is my little rub right here.
Okay.
All right. And you do the same thing here. And actually that probably might be a little bit, but it's to your taste. Everybody has their own. See, just a little bit back here.
Okay. I'm feeling the bones underneath.
Exactly.
The bones go down.
And we're going to put this right back on here again. There we go. We're going to set that right over there.
Up here. There we go.
Wow.
Look at that. All right, lock and load. Let's get this thing started.
All right, we're ready to go here?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. Now this is chicken. You don't put so much. Now it's to your taste. You can put this on there, and I mean it'll be hotter than a pistol. But
JR, this is boneless, skinless.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I do some with skin, but this one here I wanted to show you this because this is just unbelievable what this spice
will do.
JR spice. We call it smoke and rub.
I love it. Smoke and rub.
Yeah, smoke and rub. Yeah.
Okay.
You just need a little bit on there.
Okay, we ready?
And we're ready to put that over there.
No, it's boneless, skinless, so it doesn't matter what side I put it on?
That one there doesn't, but actually I try to keep that the top side because the other one came right off the bone area.
I see. Okay, all right.
And there's a special, I'm going to go off this side here.
Oh, good. Okay. Now.
That way you just set that right there. Now this is 16, 18 hours.
That's
It's
gorgeous.
not burnt.
Right.
That's my dry rub.
It's barbecue.
It's barbecue.
That's right. All right, so we have our brisket, we have our pork, we have our chicken. Now, this isn't what we just dry rubbed.
Yes.
This has been cooking for how long?
16, 18 hours.
Okay.
6 to 8 hours.
All right.
And 4 to 5 hours.
All right. Brisket, we told you earlier, it's the hardest meat. You know, a lot of people stay away from it because they can't cook it right. But when you do, it melts in your mouth.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, let's see it though.
And now look at here. Oh my word. Look at that. You see the dry, the nice smoke line? You always cut across the grain.
Look at that.
Oh, it's so tough. I think I'll cut it with the back side of the knife.
Look at that.
Would you like a sample?
Yeah, let's.
Oh my word.
I told them I'm their eyes and ears and taste buds today.
Uh-oh, look at this here.
Now, do I dip?
Now
do I also dip?
You actually need to taste it first. Everybody, you have to taste the brisket first because you do not need anything on it.
All right. Delicious. Oh my goodness. This is terrific.
Nestled in the middle of Napa Valley lies the town of Yountville. Picturesque and quaint, like many towns in the wine country, what's unique about Yountville is how, with less than 2 square miles, it's influencing our food and how that food's grown.
They're smaller, but they should be sweet.
It begins here, a garden set on 1.5 acres. But not just any garden. A garden belonging to the French Laundry, widely touted as the best restaurant in the United States. Everything picked here will eventually wind up on plates there, and most likely on the same day.
I, in general, give the chefs a monthly forecast, which is somewhat flexible. But more importantly, I forecast every night. So when they write the menu each night, they know what is available for the next day's harvest.
Tucker Taylor is the culinary gardener for the French Laundry. He oversees everything that's grown here, collaborating with the chefs along the way.
I will give the chefs seed catalogs in the beginning of the season, and they will look through and tell me what they really want and also what they don't want, so I have an idea of what to plant and how much to plant.
Even before the garden was here, French Laundry chef and owner Thomas Keller was a champion of fresh, locally grown ingredients, forging relationships with neighborhood growers.
I want these things to be so amazing that even the chefs go, wow, do you see that? Look at these things. We've never seen a product like that. At least that's what I envision happens.
Peter and Gwen Jacobson stumbled into farming when they bought this land in Yountville covered with fruit trees 25 years ago.
Go ahead and hold that. So,
not wanting to see their fruit go to waste, they began peddling it to local restaurants, including the French Laundry, where their figs were an instant hit. Today, everything grown on their property, 120 fruit trees and rows of vegetables and herbs, is exclusively contracted to the French Laundry.
It does seem strange that we started out knowing nothing and now we're farmers for the French Laundry, the most elegant restaurant in the United States, perhaps the world. The learning curve has been amazing. Oh, look at that.
But they learned from the best. Thomas Keller's philosophy of always striving for perfection is evident throughout his restaurant, the only one in California with a 3-star Michelin rating, most recently earned by chef de cuisine Corey Lee.
The impact that California has had on my cooking and my approach to cooking is really about the produce. Seeing Tucker and seeing Peter and seeing how much energy and work goes into producing all of that fruit and vegetable makes you treat the vegetables with a little more respect.
The relationship between kitchen and garden has evolved into chefs picking crops from Peter's land daily and Tucker interacting regularly with Chef Corey.
We're almost relying on the garden for many things. And now I just can't imagine the French Laundry without that garden across the street.
How long will we have turnips? We'll have turnips through the winter.
Although Chef Corey may get the accolades for the amazing food he creates, he's the first to admit that it's a collaboration.
Another place where Tucker and Peter are hugely valuable is that their understanding and their repertoire of the different vegetables and fruit they can grow is beyond my understanding. Peter has a dozen kinds of radishes. I can't even name a dozen kinds of radishes, but it's that kind of interaction that's very important.
This vested interest also allows Peter and Tucker to research unique and interesting new varieties to plant.
I have some freedom to grow things that I want, and sometimes they're really excited about it, and sometimes they're not too into it, but that's okay.
Peter has persuaded the French Laundry to utilize his snails, the only ones in the country to be certified organic, free range.
For a chef, finding a new ingredient is an amazing thing. Seeing something new that you haven't seen before opens up so many doors.
Having influence over what produce is grown and how it's grown gives Chef Corey the ability to work with varieties that might otherwise be impossible to obtain, like these petite zucchini.
In general, the smaller a vegetable, the shorter the shelf life, so to speak. So it's pretty amazing that we can harvest and have something in the kitchen and on the plate for service within an hour.
Tucker's garden and the Jacobsons' orchard are shaping the vision of what farming can become in the future. In fact, it's already happening here in Yountville. Several of Peter's neighbors have turned portions of their yards into gardens, growing food for nearby restaurants and markets.
Actually, it's fascinating to reflect on what's happening in this area because we think we're growing vegetables for the French Laundry, but I realize that the French Laundry is growing farmers.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
But it's really the impact at home that's important. It's when you go shopping to make dinner for your family, you know, the kind of produce that you buy, or even taking that step in deciding to make dinner for your family. And the greatest impact that I hope it will have is the day-to-day eating that Americans choose when they're dining at home.
Pack your bags and grab your boots. It's time to hit the road with the Ag Traveler.
People come to Monterey County from all over the world to enjoy its beautiful coastline and also its agriculture, especially the kind that comes from the sea. And a great place to do both is at Phil's Fish Market in Moss Landing. What kinds of fish do you guys get from out here in the Monterey Bay?
You know, it's seasonal. This time of the year as the tuna shows up. We have albacore tuna and they migrate right by us. But sometimes they go too fast and we can't catch them. And then we get some of the exotics, which will be swordfish.
Phil is known for offering a mouth-watering variety of seafood dishes, but at the top of the list, his world-famous cioppino.
So what goes into cioppino?
We start off with clams and mussels and we steam them open. And then we kind of layer. We add the sauce, we add the rest of the fish, calamari. There's cracked crab. There is fresh whitefish, shrimp, and scallops.
Crab is a key ingredient of Phil's cioppino, and since Monterey Bay is full of them, they also serve up their share of everybody's favorite messy meal.
We've cleaned up our crab.
So you have to pull the legs off.
Okay, so is there any trick to that?
Yeah, just hold it straight.
Okay.
And they come right off.
Oh, just bend it down like.
Bend it down, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's so easy.
Phil gets the Dungeness crab from fishermen docked in Moss Landing's marina. The quaint little fishing town is just north of Monterey on Highway 1 and yet off the beaten path. If you're like me, you probably will not want to leave, so check out, or in this case, check into the Captain's Inn.
We're right at the beach, we're right on the wetlands. We can see all kinds of wildlife from here. Seals, sea otters, birds, herons, egrets. We can watch the tide come and go. And you can do that without leaving your bed, without leaving your bathtub.
This bed and breakfast salutes its historic past life as a shipping office with nautical accents throughout, all cleverly crafted by innkeeper Melanie Gideon.
We have two buildings, this boathouse, which has beautiful waterfront views, but associated with it and where we have our breakfast is in the Pacific Coast Steamship Company building. It was originally built in 1906, following the 1906 earthquake.
Wondering if Gideon's got a first mate of her own? Aye, aye, Captain, meet her husband, Jan. Melanie runs a tight ship, especially when it comes to her galley. She loves using the freshest locally grown produce for her guests' breakfast.
Here we go this morning, we're having California grown mangoes, locally grown kiwis right here from about a mile or two inland from Prunedale, and then the strawberries are right here from Watsonville.
We grow beautiful berries and apples here in our valley, which is known as the Pajaro Valley, here in Santa Cruz County.
Not far from Moss Landing is the family-owned Gizditch Ranch. At 60 acres, this is quite an operation and a place where you can pick and eat your own meal.
So what kind of apples do we have here, Ben?
This is a Fuji.
Growing, marketing, and selling more than a dozen varieties of apples and 5 types of berries. Making apple juice year-round, and let's not forget their fresh baked pies.
Is this a favorite of the customers?
Right now, yeah.
Beautiful. And what kind of apples are they?
Pippin.
The Gizditch family seems to have the recipe that keeps customers coming back year after year.
It's fresh, and you're out there, kind of pretend like you're on the farm. You know, we live in the city, and so it's just a fun thing to do.
Vince gave me a couple of pointers on proper apple picking techniques.
You don't want to damage the bud because that's going to produce an apple next year.
Okay.
So the idea is to bend the apple backwards and to pull, and that way you'll get just the stem and not the bud wood.
A little handiwork has a big payoff. Apples at their peak.
What do you like about coming here and actually knowing that these just came off the trees?
What's not to like about that, right? You know, they're fresh, they're crisp.
So, take a bite out of Monterey County, a California jewel where you can experience both earth and ocean on the same plate.
My name is Jasmine Craikover. I'm 17 and a half years old. I go to East Union High School and serve as the East Union chapter president. Today what we're doing is Ag Venture. This is the Manteca Unified School District farm. There are about 4,000 kids, third graders, and they are doing numerous activities. There's presentations of different fruits and vegetables, there's animals they can look at, and there's a corn maze. I feel it's really important to get it out there as young as possible so the kids really understand what's going on.
We're learning about all the animals. They eat hay and eat apples. Horses can jump 6 feet. When they cut off the sheep, it's usually because they're pregnant.
The kids love coming here. They love the corn maze, they love the animals. Without ag, we wouldn't have the clothes that we buy and wear, we wouldn't have the food that we eat. It's what keeps communities and cities and the world going. I'm really passionate about the FFA and just being here, watching the kids learn about the farm and what we do and how you can really get involved in ag really excites me.
That's California Heartland. For more information on any of these stories, go to californiaheartland.org. I'm Chris Burrows. We'll see you next time.
I want to stop the show because it's so good. I can't stop it.
And the chicken.
To order a copy of this show, visit us online or call 1-888-814-3923. The cost is $14.95 plus shipping. California Heartland is made possible by the James G. Boswell Foundation, committed to sharing the stories and successes of California growers. Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
Funding provided in part by the California Farm Bureau Federation, proud publishers of California Country magazine. More information is available at californiacountry.org. And by the Almond Board of California. California almonds, loved around the world, grown in California's heartland. And by Real California Milk. This seal ensures your favorite dairy brands are made exclusively with Real California Milk. More information at realcaliforniamilk.com.